major in educational initiatives for schools and school students in West Bengal. The objective of this topic is to review the secondary data to understand the situation of primary education as well as secondary education in West Bengal. For this purpose, the three official sources of data are used: census data, elementary education in India district report codes, raw data, and DICE. Government has taken major educational initiatives for schools. Above mentioned sources provide an overview of district-wise population distribution. Additionally, this table also provide information on number of inhabited villages and number of household per village. It can be seen that 72% of the population was from rural areas. Similar statistics is observed for number of households. 71% household in rural areas. Household were in rural areas. Medinipur has highest number of villages with a high population per household. Population per household is lowest in South Dinajpur. Above mentioned sources give up a scenario of distribution of villages according to female literacy as per census 2001. One third of the population is in the state is illiterate. One third. Oh my God. Three districts: Malda, Murshidabad, and Purulia have more than 50% of the population illiterate. Only Kolkata has less than 20% of its population literate. Only Kolkata has less than 20% of its population literate. What is this? Illiterate. Less than 20% of its population illiterate হবে, এটা literate হবে না. Sources provide data on gender inequality in literacy. Okay. Gender. Sources provide data on gender equality in literacy. 6 out of 18 districts has gender inequality of more than 20% in literacy. The gender inequality is worst in Purulia, but the female literacy is low. Sources provide data on the district-wise distribution of sex ratio. It is interesting to note that sex ratio is inversely related to female literacy. The correlation coefficient is about 3. That is 3:10. It indicates that female literacy is higher in districts which have low sex ratio. Sources provide data on scheduled caste, scheduled tribe population in the district. The percentage of SC population is highest in Kuch Bihar, 50%. The respective female literacy rate 56.1, 6.01. Respective female literacy is which is highest among all districts. Female literacy and general literacy is negative. Relationship of female literacy and general category population. The policy implication of this observation is that the government should make special efforts to improve the reach and delivery of school education in this district. The policy implication of this observation is that the government should make special efforts to improve to improve the reach and delivery of school education in this district. তাহলে sources provide a district-wide distribution of primary schools government according to type of school buildings. These data are collected from elementary education in India. Data is dies collected from elementary education in India district report cards. 2008 to 9, about 16% of primary schools in the state didn't have any building structure. Oh, 72% pakka. The data gives a picture on distribution of primary schools according to average number of classrooms. State level average number of classrooms per government owned primary school is 3.48. Number of classroom in primary school 3.1. এগুলো কি ভ্যালু? Average number of teachers per government primary school 3.28. এর কি পার্সেন্টেজ? per school 3 জন, গভর্নমেন্ট ওন্ড প্রাইমারি স্কুল 3.8, মানে পার স্কুল এটা। যেমন তার মানে অ্যাভারেজ নাম্বার অফ ক্লাসরুমস ইন প্রাইমারি স্কুলস 3.1, মানে 3.1 পার স্কুল, 3টে করে থাকে। ঠিক আছে। The data shows that educational development index and the rank of select states in India based DICE data 2010 EDI shows that educational development index shows that the status of states in terms of effectiveness primary and upper primary education system, implementation of Right to Education Act, Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, is an effort to universalize elementary education by community ownership of the school system. The main objective of this is to provide useful and relevant elementary education, including retention for child, for all children in the age group 6 to 14 years by 2010. Raष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान RMSA is an extension of RSSA in the sense that it promises universal access to secondary level education in the age group 15-16 by 2017, and universal retention by 2020. While SSA and RMSA offer operational framework for universalizing the education, its provisions were used as general guidelines by each state to interpret and implement the scheme. Provisions, niyam niti. Article 21, 86 the Indian Constitution inserted Article 21 in the Constitution which provide free and compulsory education. Free and compulsory education কোন সেকশনে পড়ছে? Article 21A. Article 21A, free and compulsory education to all children group 14 years as a fundamental right. The right children to free and compulsory act 2009 RTE is consequential legislation. Consequential legislation envisage পরিণতি consequential পরিণতি is the consequential legislation. Consequential মানে sequentil is sequentil consequential conse consequential মানে অনুবর্তী following as a result. Consequential মানে the following following বলতে হবে following the following legislation envisaged under Article 21 does RTE makes implementation প্রয়োগ of compulsory education legally binding on all states or union territories. RTE came into effect for RTE 1st April 2010. কোশ্চেন আসতে পারে RTE এফেক্ট হলো কোনদিন রাইট টু এডুকেশন অ্যাক্ট এফেক্ট হলো 1st April 2010. The state's RTE rules must cover provisions for free primary schools and Anganwadis. Cover provisions. The state's RTE rules must cover provisions for pre-primary schools or Anganwadis. The state's RTE rules must cover provisions for pre-primary schools or Anganwadis. The rules should provide the state government, local authorities shall undertake schools mapping and identify all children, including children in remote areas, children with disability, children belonging to disadvantaged groups. As for example, S16, children belonging to weaker sections with a period of 1 year from the date of publication of the rules and every year thereafter. Mainstreaming informal schools. তাহলে এটা আলোচনাটা কি হলো কি নিয়ে এসএসএ ইমপ্লিমেন্টেশন অফ রাইট টু এডুকেশন অ্যাক্ট এসএসএ হলো এবার mainstreaming informal school. The mandates that eventually elementary education must be provided by formal and recognized school. All existing EGS centers, SSK and শিশু শিক্ষক কেন্দ্র SSK, মাধ্যমিক শিক্ষক কেন্দ্র MSK in West Bengal should be converted to regular schools or closed down with children or mainstreamed into neighborhood schools. Converted to radical rivers or closed down when children are mainstreamed into neighborhood school. School management and monitoring SMM. The first tier of school monitoring test with immediate stakeholders of the school. Rests with immediate stakeholders. The RTE Act gives immense importance to SMCs. Management Committee has the decentralized structures and the one in which the parents will have a very significant role. Immense importance. Quality of education and teachers incentive. The data shows that there is some serious problem with pedagogy and the quality of classroom. The method of practice of teaching. The method and practice of teaching. Pedagogy, the method and practice of teaching. With the method and practice of teaching, quality of classroom. The pedagogical analysis. The data shows that textbooks and TLM in the classroom. When at Evelyn, a child belonging Evelyn private tuition, vigorously as belonging to general category. It has been observed that in case of several states, appropriate incentive system positively affect the quality of education. Incentive schemes may be developed for students as well as teachers. Some recommendations are there. State can introduce a merit scholarship examination in class 5. This would check on the quality of education at primary level and also provide incentive to children to perform well in studies. Amount may be paid out of funds available under LEP, Learning Enhancing Program, LEP. সেখানে টাকা খরচ করে দেয়। Yes. Enhancing student learning ability. An incentive scheme may be launched for the teachers in primary and upper primary schools. The incentive may be paid out of funds available under LEP. Incentive scheme for teachers. ভাবা যায় school management, the source provide data on activity of school management system. Activity of school management system. Presently, there are quite a good number of schools level communities looking at various aspects of the school. Almost every school in rural areas have a VEC, Village Education Committee, a Mother Teacher Association (MTA), School Monitoring Committee (SMC), but only 6 schools in rural areas have School Development Committee (SDC). The SMC would have specific roles and responsibilities defined in strict articles. Such roles and responsibilities of the SMC have been discussed. It is thus recommended that MTA, Mother Teacher Association, SDC, School Development Committee, and Parent Teacher Association (PTA) be merged with SMC. Provide data on activity of schools management systems. Presently, there are quite a good number of schools level committee looking after various monitoring aspect of the school. Almost every school in rural areas has a BC, but only 6 schools SDC, School Development Committee. The SMC would have specific roles SMC School Monitoring Committee, as defined in the state RT rules. Such rule and responsibility of SMC have been discussed. As thus recommended that MTA, SDC, and PTA all should be merged with SMC school inspection. It is mentioned that the school supervision has seriously suffered due to insufficient substitute, absence of any plan, and administrative neglect. It is recommended that designations of inspectors be changes as below. Sub-inspector of schools B designated as the assistant education officer AEO. Assistant inspector of school block education officer BEO. District inspector of schools, district education DEOs. Each BEO should have a contingent of AEO who would regularly visit. Contingent. 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 CONTI contingent. अच्छा contingent. CONTIN contingent. Contingent মানে সাপেক্ষ, a group of people united by some common feature forming part of large group. মানে একটা শর্ত সাপেক্ষে বলছে, নির্ভরশীল সাপেক্ষ। কিন্তু এখানে কন্টিজেন্ট অফ জাপানিজ বিজনেসম্যান যদি এরকম মানে হয়, গ্রুপ অফ জাপানিজ বিজনেসম্যান, গ্রুপ অফ পিপুলকে বোঝাচ্ছে। should have a group of AEOs. Each BEO should have a group of AEO. Who would regularly visit school under their jurisdiction. BEO would also make periodic visits to school under their block in such a way that each BEO can visit every school once a year. AEO should undertake at least 2 visits to every school each year. The total number of AEO necessary in West Bengal to monitor school providing elementary education around 650. Similarly, 325 BEOs are yet required. AEO, BEO. AEO হচ্ছে Sub Inspector of Schools should be redesignated Assistant Education Officer. আর BEO হচ্ছে Block Education Officer. BEO 650 আছে বলে মনে হয়, 325 BEO আছে। Number of schools primary 449, upper primary 73, total 522. Number of SSK 892. Number of teachers. বর্ধমান প্রাইমারি স্কুল অনেক বেশি, নাম্বার অফ স্কুলস 1063। হুগলি 277 প্রাইমারি স্কুল। হাওড়াতে দেখি কত, ওই হাওড়া কই, কলকাতা, এই তো হাওড়াতে 307, আপার প্রাইমারি 27। হাওড়াতে টিচার কম, কারেন্ট নেই, টিভি চালায়। কারেন্ট নেই, কিছু আওয়াজ নেই। As per the announcement made by the Honorable Prime Minister in his Independence Day 2007 speech, a proposed centrally sponsored scheme (CSS) centrally sponsored scheme for universalization of access and improvement of quality of education at secondary stage success, also known as राष्ट्रीय माध्यमिक शिक्षा अभियान RMSA की यूनिवर्सलाइजेशन ও সাকসেস এসটা কোত্থেকে নিয়ে যেতে স্কিম ফর ইউনিভার্সালাইজেশন, তাহলে স্কিম এস ফর ইউনিভার্সালাইজেশন ইউ অফ অ্যাক্সেস, আর কি হলো সাকসেস কি করে হলো সেকেন্ডারি স্টেজ SS, ই ফর এডুকেশন হলো, দুটো সি কোথা থেকে এলো? কি করে সাকসেস হলো? দ্য গোল অফ RMSA আর সাকসেস কি করে হচ্ছে? Centrally sponsored scheme for universalization of access to and access to improvement of quality of education at secondary stage. Is to make secondary education of good quality education accessible and accessible to all students in grade 15, 16, 19. And the major target of the scheme is universal access to secondary level education to all students in their 15 by 2015 by providing secondary level within 5 kilometers of any horizon and a higher secondary school within 7 kilometers of horizon. Universal retention by 2020. ये होला universal access of secondary level education 15-16 age. Strategies for implementation of to provide access for secondary schools to students following has been to provide access of secondary schools to students following has been proposed: upgradation of primary schools through construction of classrooms, laboratories, computer room, headmaster room, library room, separate toilets for class appointment and additional teachers; strengthening of existing secondary school through construction of classroom, computer rooms, separate toilets for girls and boys, appointment of additional teachers; strengthening of lab facilities and repair and renovation of existing school buildings. To remove the disparity among the different school social group of people, and the scheme envisages the special inventive for students belonging to SC/ST minority and the weaker sections of the our society. To improve the quality, the RMSA scheme proposed for: number 1, construction of science lab, laboratories, in-service training of teacher, leadership training of school head, curriculum reform, science and math education, teacher learning aids. View of the above, the Department of Women Development and Social Welfare, Westbengal DWSW, Department of West Bengal Development and Social Welfare DW, Department of Women Development, Department of Women Development and Social Welfare DWSW formulated the Kanasri conditional cash transfer scheme with them which has the well-being of the girl children with external incentives by incentivizing schooling of all teenage girls and delaying their marriages until the age of 18. The legal age of marriage যেটা 18 conceivable is the sponsor scheme which will be implemented henceforth in all the street of the street. Actually, aim of Konyasri Prakalpa to reduce the prevalence of child marriage in West Bengal by increasing the enrollment of girls in secondary education or vocationalization or sports training, and simultaneously encouraging the delay marriages of girls until they reach the age of 18. The specific objective of the schemes: incentives through scholarships to continuation of education of the girls and secondary and higher secondary classes, vocational training or sports training to reduce dropouts, especially among girls for poor families were covered by any other scholarship. Disincentive child marriages of girls to ensure compliance with the legal provisions pertaining to the minimum age at marriage. Disincentive and child marriages of girls. Compliance on sammati, the action of fact complying with a wish or command. Sammati, consent. প্রতিপালন, অনুবর্তিতা. Compliance on agreement, to ensure নিশ্চিত করতে compliance agreement with the legal provisions pertaining to the minimum age at marriage. Disincentive child marriage. Disincentive মানে Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, national flagship program launched by 2001 and 2 for achieving the goal of universalism in elementary education, UEE. So UEE was the aim of SSA, and it is also an attempt to provide an opportunity for improving human capabilities to all children 6 to 14 years of age through provision of community-owned quality education in a mission mode. The object of SS is Sarva Shiksha, 6-14 age children in school education guarantee scheme. Bridge goes by bridge all gender and social category gaps at primary stage by 2007 and at elementary level by 2010. Focus on elementary education of satisfactory quality with emphasis on education for life. Focus on elementary education of satisfactory quality with emphasis on education for life. কত হলো জানো? কন্টিনিউইং পেজ নাম্বার 187, কন্টিনিউইং সর্বশিক্ষা অভিযান চলছিল 187.